Hey guys, my name is Fatima Farina,
And my name is Lucia Alvarez.
and we are exposing our first midterm of Phonetics and Phonology 1. First of all, we would like to introduce the concepts of phonetics and phonology with their respective differences in order to progressively immerse in the analysis of a text, in this case, a poem. Well, when we refer to phonetics, we are referring to a discipline that studies the physical reality of the speech sounds. This wide-ranging field includes physiological phonetics, articulatory phonetics, acoustic phonetics, auditory phonetics, perceptual phonetics. These disciplines, according to Kelly, can be studied together. They share a tie that connects them. Speech organs move to produce sounds, which travel in sound waves, which are received by the ears and transmitted to the brain.
On the other hand, we have phonology that, in opposite to phonetics, studies the interpretation and systematization of the speech sounds and provides explanation. It works with the system and pattern of the sounds which exist within a particular language, in this case, English. When in phonology we talk about vowels and consonants, we are referring to the oral part of a language, not the vowel and consonant letters related to spelling. Now, as a first topic, we have the phoneme, which, according to Kelly, phonemes are the different sounds that enclose an entire language. In this case, English, like consonants that can be voiced and unvoiced, or vowels that can be single vowels or diphthongs. However, there are minimal differences when people articulate, but it doesn't impede the accurate depiction of how each sound is produced.
They are phonemes that compose some words from the poem. In the word love, there are three phonemes, two consonants and one vowel. The consonants are L and V, and one vowel, A. Another word, in this case, faith, it has four phonemes, two consonants, F and Z, and a diphthong composed of two vowels. However, there are more examples of phonemes that compose some words from the poem. Other word is reason that has five phonemes, three consonants and two vowels. The consonants are R, Z, and N, and two vowels, E, A. The last word is heaven that has five phonemes, three consonants, H, V, N, and two vowels, E, A. What are minimal pairs? Minimal pairs are pairs of words that have different meaning and differ in only one sound. Some examples of minimal pairs that can be found in the poem. Where and there are minimal pairs, and they differ in only one phoneme. In this case, v and d. Dig and big are minimal pairs, and they differ in only one phoneme, d and v. Fast and fast are minimal pairs, and they differ in only one phoneme too. In this case, p and f.
Then to continue, we have here other topic that is called homophones. That this concept involves pairs of words that are pronounced in the same way but have a different spelling and different meaning. If we want to master our ability in English language, we need to understand the importance of them in the vocabulary building and spelling. We have some examples here that are, for example, see, meaning a big water landscape, and see, the verb to see something. Then we have in, the preposition, and then in, that it's a hotel, usually in the countryside. And then we have to, that it's an adverb, and to, meaning number two. And here also we have these examples presented in the poem that are highlighted. There you have it.
Well, now we are going to talk about homographs. The concept of homographs refers to words which have different pronunciation and meaning, but they are spelled the same. These words have the same spelling, but they are used in different contexts. Some examples of homographs. Desert, which is a verb that refers to abandon, to be disloyal, to live in the lodge. The verb desert is often applied to people who leave the military without permission. And then we have desert, which is a noun. This word means an arid area that receives little rainfall. A desert is usually composed primarily of sand or rock and contains little plant or animal life. The word desert is often used figuratively to mean something that is barren, harsh, or lifeless. Then we have the word last, which can a word that can be an intransitive or transitive verb, to continue in time, to continue in existence or action, as long, as or longer than, often used with out. Last adjective, the person or thing after everyone or everything else. And here you can see the poem with the homographs highlighted.
To continue with this presentation, we have varieties of English. The phonemic transcriptions presented in the poem are based on the International Phonemic Alphabet, the IPA chart, where it indicates how to pronounce sounds. These sounds depend on each English speaker's region or country due to the fact that there are lots of varieties of English. Here we have this IPA chart that, as I said before, it is there are the sounds represented by each one's symbol, that they are all different. And we have a thing here that it's rhoticity. So what is rhoticity? Rhoticity is a term that is strongly related with dialects or varieties of English language. In this concept, two positions respect R pronunciation are considered. On the one hand, rhotic English, it's when the R pronunciation happens, even if it is followed by a consonant and at the end of the vowel at the end of the words that carry this letter. This variety of English is presented in most of the United States and southwestern England. On the other hand, non-rhotic English, in opposite to rhotic English, The pronunciation of an R is pronounced only when it is in a prevocalic position, but not between two vowels. And we have some examples of, on the one hand, rhoticity and like rhotic and non-rhotic English. Firstly, we have the rhotic version of a verse of the poem that would be, Jewel of my life, I don't know where you are going to.
And now I'm going to read the same verse, but in non-rhotic English. Jewel of my life, I don't know where you're going to. Well, after this, I'm going to talk about something important. The importance of the phonetic transcriptions. Why are phonetic transcriptions very useful? The phonetic transcriptions allow us, students and teachers, to understand the pronunciation of words and utterances. It is really helpful because the words are written in the way that we pronounce them. But I should say that English is not a spelling to sound language. I mean, a language that has a spelling to sound relationship. Because if you read something in English, you have to read it different than it is written. It, it is not the same case with Spanish, because if you read a sentence in Spanish, you read it as it is written. But if you read in English, you have to know the phonetic transcriptions. They will help you to pronounce it correctly and to be more fluent and more easy to understand to to English native speakers. And now we are going to read our poem, the poem that we chose to work in the midterm.
That it's called It Won't Happen, but I Love to Insist. Jewel of my life, I don't know where you are going to. Although there were times that I felt like I was in heaven, now I'm drowning in the deep blue sea.
Our love didn't last forever. You see, our feelings were tempted to desert, but we were two human beings, two boys who met in a secret inn, lovers who wanted to dive in the rivers of faith, lovers who always wanted to live for the thrill of the experience.
The wind buried the last remnants of an ancient civilization. The romantics were those devoured by the desert and the sands of oblivion, the last ones who still managed to believe in love.
Our love didn't last forever. Too many illusions. But I don't know if this is love or just an attempt of living my youth. That is the reason why I still dig a hole in the past. That is the reason why everything went so fast, like big one-hit wonders fame. And as you can see, this poem expresses a sad reality, something that it's hard to admit, because when we end a relationship with someone special, or when someone plays with our hearts, we discover that it's hard to admit that something is not going to happen, and you have to stop thinking about it. because thinking about something in an obsessive way, it's terrible. Well, now we're going to talk about stress within the utterance.
In this topic, we have content words and function words. That words with weak and strong forms mainly belong to the so-called category of function words. This category encloses words that, if we search them in the dictionary, don't have a meaning in the way that we expect. When a word has a meaning, or being more specific, when a word carries the content of the message, it is a content word. But the other ones that don't carry a specific meaning are called function words.
Yes, and now I'm going to show you stressed words in a strophe from the poem. But before I do it, I would like to say that function words are pronouns, auxiliary verbs, prepositions, and conjunctions, while content words are nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. And now we can start with this. The content words are the ones which are stressed, which means that they have a stress mark. And in these three verses from the poem, the content words are jewel, life, don't, no, where, going, although, times, felt, heaven, now, I'm, drowning, deep, blue, and sea. What an interesting topic. I really like it, but we have to talk about non-stressed syllables too. Here, the weak sounds are highlighted in this strophe of the poem. They are 9 schwa, 2 e, 1 u, 4 e, and they aren't any u. But why I am saying this? Well, the schwa, the e, and the u are truly weak vowel sounds, while e and u are vowel sounds that are sometimes weak or strong. In this case, in the last case, I mean in u, an example of where this vowel sound can be strong is in the word good, but it can be weak too. For example, in the word don't. Now, after all this, we have to talk about quick forms of function words. Here, the function words are highlighted in green, with their respective quick forms highlighted in green too. But is a weak form because it is not functioning as a contrastive word. After this word we have an, which is a weak form because its position and due to the fact that it is not being used to emphasize something. After that we have av, which is a weak form because its position in the utterance. It is in a non-exposed position. But wait, we have more examples, as is a Weak form because its position in the utterance and because it is not main verb. I should say that the is a weak form too because it is not emphasizing something, and like the other weak forms, it is its position in the utterance makes it a, a weak form. A, like an, it's a weak form because its position in the utterance and because it is not being used to emphasize something. However, even if there are a lot of examples of weak forms, we have examples of strong forms too. That is a strong form because it functions as a demonstrative word, and obviously because its position in the utterance. It's the only example of a strong form in this strophe. And now we are proud to say bye-bye. We have finished our midterm presentation.
We hope you like it. And as Facundo said, it's time to say bye-bye. So here we should finish.
Goodbye.